Hello, everybody. I am Nancy Shah, and we are back with another live session on this wonderful channel of Speaker Circle. Well, Speaker Circle is basically a platform through which we are helping people improve their public speaking, communication skills, develop self confidence and personality, and of course, gradually learn and grow. Well, we conduct live sessions on every Thursday evening, 6 p.m. on this YouTube channel, where we give opportunity to our members to deliver speeches and talks on different topics. We do storytelling, movie review, book review, poetry recitation, and knowledge sharing session. There are many activities like that. Moreover than that, we conduct our online meetings every Sunday where you can attend the meetings as a visitor as well for free. To do that, you need to fill up a Google form. You'll find the link of the form in the description. And there's a lot more. If you just surf through this YouTube channel, I think you'll have a brief idea about what exactly we do and how. It's a community of like-minded people. It's a platform where you can keep learning. And I think we all need to learn. Be it anything. Probably we might be good at some extents in some areas, but then there are always an areas of improvement. I also have some areas of improvement, and we believe that we can learn through each other. With this perspective, I, Nancy Shah, welcome you all again for today's live session. Thank you so much for joining us right now. If you are watching, you can type your name in the comment section, and we'll surely try to welcome you suitably. Hello, hello, hello. Are you there? Type your name or say hi, and we'll surely so there is a live chat option. You can type your responses there. We will be checking the chat box throughout the session. If you have any questions or any queries or anything that you wish to share or ask, you can type it there, and we'll surely try to address your queries and answers. So yeah, we have Shashwat Pandya who says hello. Hi Shashwat, how are you? Hello, I'm really sorry we faced some technical issue, and due to which I had a blank screen for some time. I'm really sorry for the same. But we are back and we are going to continue with the session, so it's completely fine. Thanks everybody who are still there. And yes, I can see your comments now. Okay, we have Shivam Das. Thank you, Shivam, for joining us. Who else is there, guys? You all can share your name or say hi or type something in the comment section. Sorry for the technical glitch and the issue that we faced, but now we are back and we will surely continue with the session. Give me a thumbs up if you're with me right now and if you're watching us. Well, as I said, Speaker Circle is a platform through which we are helping people improve their communication and public speaking skills and stuff like that. Whatever we speak, so at Speaker Circle, we allow people to talk in two languages, that is English and okay, I think this is visible now. Yeah. So at Speaker Circle, we allow people to talk in two languages, that is Hindi and English. But then we all know that English is not our native language. We are not native speakers of English language, and there is always a scope of improvement in that. And I think probably we can join some coaching classes, or we can have mentors. Of course, we need mentors and those classes and all, but self learning is the best way to improve your language. And with that perspective, today we have organized this session in which we want to guide you regarding how you can improve your English language on your own. So I'm sure this session would be helpful and interesting for you. At the same time, the speaker who is going to talk today is somebody who is also learning different languages. So I'll introduce her in a while. Yes, meanwhile, I'm getting few comments here. Hi, Shrisha. Thank you for being here. Hi, Savita. Then we have, okay, Fatima. Thanks, Fatima. Hello, Shay. Hi, Shivam. I hope now there is no issue with the streaming and you're able to hear me clearly. Give me a thumbs up if you're with me. And let's not waste a single moment. And let's start with today's session. Well, today's speaker is somebody who is currently a student, who is currently studying in second year of her Bachelor's of Arts from St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. She is a language learner, I would say lifelong language learner. She knows almost 6 languages by now and want to take it up to 10 at least, and I wish that she grows more than that. She is working with me currently at Speakers Circle and supports me in many ways. So if you're checking any posts on our social media handles, or even regarding coordination or anything, like, she is my go-to person for sure. And of course, she is somebody who wants to share her experience of how she learned English language and some other languages, and how you can also apply the same. And that's why she has chosen this particular topic for the day. So let us put our hands together for one and only Zaina Rafique.
Hello, good evening.
Hi Zaina, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So Zaina, why you have selected this particular topic? Very first question.
Because this is during most of my primary school years, this was the question I faced almost on a daily basis, that how could I improve English? How could I improve English? And then I started figuring out certain ways for myself. And these are simple, I'm not any sort of expert, but these are the ways or methods that have helped me a great deal in exploring various aspects of this language, eventually leading me to falling in love with this language. And by that I mean just the language, and not like I feel that English is above all the other languages. I have respect for every language, but English has its own charm, its own, it's the most spoken language in the world currently. So I thought that why not pass it on to people who are actually having the similar question that I had years ago, and I overcame it, and so will they someday. So
Yeah, and I think it is really important. So, of course, we all talk in Hindi or different regional languages or any other languages. I think you also know French and you want to learn many more languages like that. But then English is internationally accepted language, and in all the professional communications, be it written or verbal or oral, you have to talk in that language. So, and there is a scope of improvement. Like, I cannot also say that I am 100% perfect. Like, while I am hosting this right now, I might have made few grammatical errors, don't count that, okay? But I want to tell you just one thing, that there's always a scope of improvement, and there's always this question, like, what can still I do? What are the new ways? And those were the times, like, before, let's say 15, 20 years or 50 years, we did not have this technological tools available with us. And of course, we had books and they are still there. But then now there are so many more things and so many different ways through which we can do it in a better manner, more effective manner, easily, in a fun way. So I really understand the importance of this topic, and really looking forward for this session. We have so many people who have joined us by now, and they are like typing in a chat quickly. So guys, let's wish Zaina all the very best for this wonderful session that she is going to conduct.
Thank
It
you.
is
Thank
for
you so
the first time that she'll be talking for such a long time, that is 40 minutes or so, but I'm sure you'll nail it. And we are with you, Zaina. We are all here to listen to you, and the stage is all yours. I am giving the stage to you. Over to you.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learning English Language. Now, mind well that I am not going to be teaching the English language to you, but I'm going to tell you certain tricks or techniques that you can learn through and that you can use to improve upon your English speaking skills. Now, many of us are at certain levels of knowing English. I might be at a different level, you might be at a different level, or we might be on the same level, or some of us do not know much about this language at all. We keep on trying to be fluent, we keep on trying to get as much exposure as we want to, but due to certain reasons we cannot commit to it, or there are certain barriers, certain obstacles which are hindering us from getting an expertise over this language. So today it will be a fun session, and please mind that I am no sort of an expert. I am on the same level as you, and I would not call you my viewers. This is just an information I am giving you because we are on the same level. So no need to feel shy if you do not know certain aspects of English. It's completely all right. I have met so many people who have an inferiority complex just because they are not able to speak English fluently, or someone else's language skills are better than them. So mind well, we are all different at the ability to speak a language well. We are all made different, and our skill sets are also different. So without a further ado, let's jump into the session. As I said, I'll be discussing about the ways that you can use to learn English. So let's begin. So first question that comes in my mind before I was writing the content for this session was, why do people struggle with English in the first place? Why is there a need for people to improve their English? Well, first of all, the very basic, the very obvious reason is it is not directly related to our culture. If you talk about Hindi, if you talk about any regional languages that we speak, like Punjabi, Gujarati, or Marathi, we get it from people around us. We have it somewhere inculcated in our culture. But English is not directly inculcated in our culture, although we have a lot of history with this language, but somehow it is we did not absorb it entirely into our culture. So that's the first reason. Secondly, it plays a great role in your career life. Now, most of us might not be having a proper education in English language. We might be maybe English that you start beginning your career, or when you are having your first job. But English because they are not able to cope up with such a drastic change that now it was like no English, and now it's
Zaina,
only English, that too formal, high jargons, complex words.
Zena, just a second. We are
Yes.
facing network issue from your side,
Is there some?
and your voice is clear, but then your video cracks and your voice is also cracking in between. Um, would you like to try changing your network or something?
Yes. Can you just give me a second?
Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, Zaina comes back. I would suggest you to subscribe this YouTube channel because there are many more sessions that we conduct over here, and you will surely get an opportunity to learn something new. As I said earlier, we go live on every Thursday evening, 6 p.m. with different things. We do storytelling, movie review, book review, poetry recitation, and there's a lot more that you can explore. More than that, you will find almost more than 200 speech videos of different people on different topics on this particular YouTube channel. So if you subscribe it, I think you will get updates and you can learn through it. At the same time, if you feel that you also want to be here, you also want to be a speaker, you want to grab this opportunity to learn and talk and share your knowledge with people, then why don't you be part of Speaker Circle community? So you can be a visitor for free. There are no charges for the same. You just need to fill up one Google form. You'll find the link of drop the form in the description, and I'll surely be happy to have you amongst us. At the same time, yes, you can follow us on all the different social media handles like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and of course, we can get connected in different ways. Also know that this is a mutual learning program, so nobody is an expert or something. I think everybody is a learner, but here you'll find people from different geographies. So currently we have people from Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, of course, and different parts of the country. Some international participants as well, some students, some working professionals, some entrepreneurs, freelancers, some self-employed people, as well as some housewives. So it's a mixed crowd, and it's a group of like-minded people who support each other to learn and improve themselves. I think we need to keep learning. You need to keep going. If you just stop your learning, you won't be able to grow. So when we perform outside, let's say I am at my workplace or I am at my performing stage, let's say when I do events, so there is no scope of doing mistakes or trial and error or experimenting something. You have to be perfect. You have to be perfect there. But then you also, like, I personally also need a platform where I can go do the trial and error, learn through it, and improvise gradually. So that is speaker circle for me, where I can learn, where I can grow, where I can learn from different things and different people, and constantly grow. With this, I think Zena is back. Yes, hi Zena.
Hello. Network problems can be like huge
So
pain.
technology will not work when you need them the most. That is what has been
Exactly.
my experience.
That's the whole point of having them, and then they don't work when you want them to.
It's okay. You can try sharing your screen and we can continue with the session. Keep calm, everything is fine, and everybody is still here. Guys, let's support her. You can give a thumbs up or type something in the comment section. We are going to have a power pack session today. Yes, I have that. Sounds good?
Yes. Is it
Okay,
visible?
over to you, Zaina.
All right, thank you. And I'm really sorry due to the glitch. So again, as I was saying, the question that I have here, why do people struggle with English? Now, you might struggle the different way, I might struggle the different way, but here are certain common reasons that I found out. So firstly, we discussed that it is not related to our culture. And as I said, even if you do not have an education in English, you always face high level English in your career life, and that's when people get anxious, people feel inferior because of not knowing this language. Thirdly, lack of exposure. So when we talk to people around us, most of them would be communicating with us in Hindi. Most of the movies that we watch are in Hindi or any other languages. So English on a normal level is very less in our surroundings, unless we are like into certain kind of fandoms, or we watch Hollywood movies, or we listen to English songs, something like that. And the last thing and the most important thing is pronunciation barriers. Now, as you all know, India is a vast country with so many dialects, so many ways people pronounce various things. So I have this one thing. If you know people who are from rural Gujarat, areas of Gujarat, they cannot speak the sound z. They cannot speak the sound z. They will say j or j. And that's when, this is just an example. So that's when people of India face pronunciation barriers with English. They are not able to speak it clearly. They speak, they try, they know the sentence structure and everything, but then they are not very clear or legible to the people that they are talking to. And that's when most people struggle. Moving on, here are certain points that I would be discussing. Before we proceed, I would request everyone to have like a notebook or pen and paper, because these points are really important to note. And I don't think that when if you memorize it completely, you might miss certain points. I don't want you to do that. So I'll just wait for like 5 seconds and grab a pen and paper, and then we'll proceed with it. Okay, so I am just counting down from 5. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, even if you don't have a pen and paper, you can make certain notes in your phone. So let's proceed with that. While learning this language, take baby steps. Now, I want to ask you something. When you were an infant, when you were born, did you immediately started running the 100 or 200-meter race? No. You first crawled for a year or so, and then you started to walk, and your walk was not very stable. You used to fall, you used to learn from people around you, and then you started walking. And that too, after many years, you were able to run long distances. So that's the same case with English. Now, if you're students of engineering or something, if you don't know what a computer is, let's imagine that you don't know what a computer is, and I ask you that write a script for coding in Java. Will that be possible for you? I suppose no. Very obviously no. That's the same case with language. You have to take baby steps first. Whenever you are learning a language, especially English, there are a lot many basic things that you need to learn first, that you need to take care of, gain proficiency or master those basic things, and then move to the advanced part. If you directly jump to the advanced part, that's not proper learning, and you will eventually end up not knowing much of the basics and just the advanced part, which is kind of like a baseless learning. So I would suggest you to take baby steps, learn the basic things first, and this might go as basic as learning vowel sounds, consonant sounds, the alphabet. I know it sounds crazy, but that's where you want to start from if you want to gain real benefit out of it. Moving forward, follow the flow. As I said, don't break the flow. First, you go with basics, then you practice and master those basics. Then you move forward with knowing the very intermediate or elementary part of it, and then you go to the advanced level. You do not directly jump to the advanced level. Now, I know many people who will ask me for language tips, and if I tell them something about the basics, they'll just tell me, "Oh, Zena, I'm not that young, or I'm not a child. What are you saying? These are the methods of learning for children. I'm not a child and I'm an adult, so you tell me adult stuff." But no matter what age or point at you are in your life, if you are learning a language, you need to start from scratch. You need to practice the very basics from day one. And that's how the flow goes. Follow the flow. Do not break it. Be a beginner and act like one. If you start teaching the basics of a language to a person who is a beginner, I have met many people who will say, okay, I know all of this, jump straight to the things that are really cool, something that would match my age, something I can use in my daily life at office or something. But they forget that if they are a beginner, they need to behave like a beginner. You need to start with basics. You need to learn the very simple of things. And I tell you, simple is best. Simple is best. And that we'll be discussing further in the session today. So be a beginner and act like one. Get exposure. Now, as I said, most of us lack exposure to English language, and that's the reason we cannot gain a proficiency over it. Get exposure. Watch if you are wasting your time watching TV on useless things, you start watching things where you can learn English from, and not specific channels that teach language. You can learn English from all the channels that have English if you really want to learn that. You can go get good books, you can listen to various things, and that the internet is a vast ocean, and English is a big language, including all sort of possibilities, all sort of materials, all sort of resources that you need to have. So if suppose you are learning Latin or Sanskrit, then there is a problem that you just cannot get exposure even if you wanted to. But English is such a varied language. It has so much of variety, it has so much of content. You just need to go out then explore. So get exposure, get yourself face to face with actual English language. Moving further, every language has 4 elements: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And these 4 are very important pillars. If you pull even one out, the entire thing will collapse. You cannot expect that, I'll be a proficient English reader, I'll be a voracious reader, I'll go on reading and reading and reading. But what if you cannot speak English? Will you be able to tell people that, okay, I know English, or will that even be useful to you, whatever you have read? Or if you do not have enough listening practice, how will you know what's the correct pronunciation? How do people enunciate? How do people use voice modulation? If you do not write sentences yourself, if you do not write content yourself, how will you know how to use the grammar structures that you have been learning, to the pronunciations or the words that you have been listening, to the way you have been speaking? Therefore, all four of these are really important. So, whenever you start learning a language, especially English, I am sure if you have heard about the IELTS examinations, they have these four separate examination structures wherein they test your reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills differently. And unless and until you gain mastery in each one of these, or you are actually good in all four of these, you cannot clear the IELTS examination and you don't get the bands. So these four are really important elements. Grammar matters. Now, I have met people, and when I say people, I have met a lot of people, so I'm giving examples from my real life. I have met people who have told it to my face that, as long as my meaning is being conveyed, as long as the other person understands me, it does not matter it does not matter if I'm using the correct grammar. It doesn't matter what kind of syntax structures am I using. But let me tell you, it matters. Suppose if you were to write down something and you were to give it to somebody else to read it, if you messed up the grammar, the person would not be able to understand what you have written. If you speak incorrect grammar, people will not be unable to comprehend what you mean to convey. Your message will be lost. You will be conveying your message, but people are not receiving it. There is no reception. Therefore, grammar matters. And by grammar, I mean the very basic grammar. You need to, every field of life has a discipline. And grammar is a discipline for language. And the main purpose that grammar exists is for people to understand each other. Imagine if there were no rules of grammar, if there was no discipline, and people just came in and like spoke in some sort of gibberish. If I spoke in some sort of gibberish, you would not be able to understand me right now, right? Hence, grammar matters. All right. So start with grammar, the basics of grammar, polish your grammar because it is going to help you some way or the other with the language. Practice like crazy. So when you were learning maths, did your teacher just tell you that, okay, this is the Pythagoras theorem and this guy is someone called Pythagoras, he invented it, and now you have an exam, so no need to practice, you can just come and give the exam? No, you will solve innumerable amount of sums that where Pythagoras theorem could be applied, and that is the same when it comes to language. If you don't practice speaking, writing, or even reading, you have lost your proficiency over the language. And this is something that happened to me a few months ago with French. I'll tell you guys, I just lost around 1 month of practicing French. I was not solving the worksheets, I was not listening to it. I had to start again from, I had to open up my the book of basics, and then I had to revise everything just to get all of that back into my head. So language is something that you need to practice consistently, and luckily I have gained all of that back. But if you lose it for a long time, you lose it forever, and then when you start learning again, the charm is also gone. So practice as much as you can. Now, here are certain tricks and techniques you might want to note it down. I assure you, these are not silly ones. These have actually helped me in my life, and these are really good ones. And I am on the same level as you. So if I can do it, you can do it too. Tricks and techniques. First one. Okay, now this might seem a little silly, but even if you are like a 40-year-old person who wants to learn English, I would, the very first exposure or the very first resource that I would give you is storybooks. Why? Could someone tell me why? Why did I not say books of Robin Sharma, books of Sudha Murthy? Why did I say? very basic storybooks or fairy tales or folk tales. Any guesses?
Well, probably because that gives us an opportunity to have fun at the same time. Very simple, short stories, not that of a heavy stuff. Is this the reason?
Exactly, because storybooks are meant for children. So the language used will be very, very simple. You will not have complex words or complex structures. You will have simple languages, simple grammar structures, simple words, and that's a really good way you can start from. And trust me, let's admit it, storybooks are fun. They are really, really fun. So read as many storybooks, and it's okay if people find you reading a storybook if when you're trying to improve your English and they make fun of you, because that's the thing that they are missing on. When you strengthen your base, the thing that you're building up is also strong. So storybooks are a really good way to go. Look how beautiful this child is. I'm sure she has a good future in the language. Moving forward, animated movies. Okay, now I honestly speaking, I think I owe a lot to Disney and Pixar for learning English rather than anything else, because animated movies are the best resources. Again, the same reason, they are meant for children. The language is completely clean, very good usage of words, very good usage of grammar. You will be expanding your vocabulary. And what happens in animated movies is they are very high on expression. If you go to see normal movies, if the actor does not have good vocal skills, although they practice, then you might not have that much of essence in the dialogues. But when animated characters speak, the way that they speak holds all sort of emotions that that character has. So you will also learn through observation how to speak, how to express. If I'm angry, how to speak. If I'm sad, how to speak. Okay, so these are really good resources. You can watch Pixar movies because they are all amazing. And although there is a common misconception that animated movies are made for children, no, if you go to see, each and every person belonging to whatever age group is able to relate to an animated movie. They have some major concepts and they are really good upon language skills. I have watched over like more than 100 animated movies, and I have really learned a lot from them. So you can do the same. Then you watch it with subtitles. So if you have the subscription to Disney Hotstar, you have all sort of animated movies there. You have Pixar, you have retro Disney, you have the latest Disney movies, and you also have subtitles. And you can also rewind and watch the same part if you want to go back to something the character said. In case if you do not have the Disney Hotstar subscription, there is a website called Prime Wire, and there are many websites, substitutes for these streaming platforms where you can watch it. But check out Prime Wire, it is really good. It has HD movies, animated movies with subtitles. So you'll love it. But do watch animated movies, no matter
I have
what.
a question. So,
Yes.
can you name few of the recommended movies, like a few movies that you want to suggest us, like we all should watch? Because I've not watched much of animated movies. You can cover it little later on also, but I thought if you can include it right now.
Okay, so recently I watched the second part of The Boss Baby. You have a Brave, you have the Toy Story series, you have this movie that's Inside Out, you have there are many. If you go to talk about old Disney movies, you have Lady and the Tramp, you have The Aristocrats, then I'm sorry, I didn't know I would say this, but princess movies are good as well if you want to learn English. But if you don't have the tolerance for that kind of things, you can just watch other Disney movies. There are many. Okay, so you can just look up to Hotstar or these websites for animated movies. I'm sure you'll find more. Then newspapers. Okay, so our teachers used to quiz us on at school that, what did you learn today from the newspaper? What was the headline? And we were forced to read newspapers every day. Even in my family, my father keeps on pushing me to read the newspaper, but it's a really good habit. And I would say that if you want to learn a language, go subscribe a newspaper in that language. And in this case, English can be best learned because newspapers are very cheap. It will hardly cost you like 3 to 4 rupees, maximum 5 rupees a day. And you don't have to go online for this content. You have all sorts of content on paper, and you also have great journalists in the country. In the middle pages section, you all have all sort of articles about various topics. So those are really good for your reading habit. Now I have something in mind for you all. So I will give you some time to grab a newspaper. So if you have a newspaper at home, which is in English, like the Times of India, go get it. And if you do not have an English newspaper at home, just take your phone, go to search for the Hindu website. I don't want to go to the Times of India website. No personal grudges and no disrespect, but I don't like that website. So you can just go to www.thehindu, what's exactly? Thehindu.com, or you can simply search the Hindu website. It will show you right here. So the first website, click on it. Now, what you have to do is, okay, I'll just give 5 seconds for everyone to grab newspapers. Everyone, including me. See, I'm not cheating. I have a newspaper. Okay, okay.
I have grabbed
So,
mine.
okay. Now go to an article of your choice. Now, please don't go to somebody's death or an accident or something like that. Go to a proper article. So, if you have chosen the Times of India, I'm on page 10. Page 10 has really good articles. And if you are on the Hindu website, choose any article for yourself. I'll wait 2 seconds for that. And as I said, asked you to sit with a pen and paper, I'm supposing you have a pen ready with you. Okay.
Guys, you can give us a
Is
thumbs
everyone
up
ready?
once you are ready with all the things. You need a newspaper, you need to go to, or you need to go to the Hindu website and choose an article and grab a pen and paper. Give us a thumbs up once you are done with that.
Okay, I'm assuming everyone is done with that. So take the newspaper. I am choosing this article. So choose any article of your choice. I will give you, okay, I'm putting the timer on my phone. I will give you 5 minutes. So if your reading skills are really good, if you're a fast reader, then you can read the entire article. But for those of you who are new to English reading, who are not very fast at reading in English, you can choose 1 or 2 paragraphs depending up to you. Okay. So I'll again wait for 2 seconds. Choose a paragraph or an article that you want to do the activity with. Any article or paragraph of your choice. It's up to you. And after picking that, we'll proceed with it.
So now we are supposed to read that article, right?
Yes, yes. Just choose one for now.
Okay, chosen.
Chosen. Now I will put the timer on for like 4 or 5 minutes. Let's take 5 minutes. I'll put it on for 5 minutes. What you have to do is take a pen, or you can even make notes in your phone, and make a note of the words that you find are new, the words that you don't know the meaning of, the words that you have never come across before. I am sure you will find many of them. So find words that are new to you, you have never seen before, never heard before, and you'd like to know them. So 5 minutes from now, start.
Just to add, guys, the session is going on and we are here. It's just that there is an activity where you need to read something on a newspaper, or you can go to the Hindu website or any article and find out the words that are new to you and underline them. If you have just joined right now, I think you can also join in the activity.
Okay, everyone, I with the 5 minutes. So let us know in the comments below, how many words did you find? How many words did you find that you did not know the meaning of, or you have never used before, or even if you knew the meaning, you have not used it very frequently when you are speaking to someone or when you're writing? I found 5 words.
Can we also write the words like which were those words?
You can. So you can also write the words that you learned, and let me know the number as well. I'm sure you might have at least found like around 3 words minimum. None. That's really great. That means you have a strong vocabulary. That means you already know, and that means you are a very prominent newspaper reader. So that's what happens when you read newspapers regularly. You get so well acquainted with languages that even complex words seem very normal to you. Okay, Sirisha found 4, which is a good number. Okay, Sony Roshan has found 3 words: harrowing, implicate, and petrified. That's a good number. We'll quickly wait for everyone to type in their responses and then we'll proceed. Somnath has found discombobulated and some more. Somnath, you need to tell me the meaning of this. I don't know what this means. So see, I'm a learner too. Nobody's perfect. At whatever stage you are, you always learn something new, and that is okay, and that is good.
I'm able to see few more people typing in the comment section. It is taking a little time to load over here, but I'll flash it soon. So keep sharing. We are waiting for you.
Okay, so if it means extremely destroyed or distorted. Okay, thanks. We learned a new word, guys. So the words that I found were subside, paraphrase, tenaciously, discreet, and venerating. Now, some of these meanings I know, but I have not used them very often, but I'll try. Quick, waiting for you.
So one of the words that I found, so I've heard this before, but then never used it and don't know the exact meaning of it, was omni-channel. So I was reading an article
Okay.
about retail, online retail, the e-commerce, and they had this omni-channel. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. So I think many people, like if you read just 10 lines, you'll find one new word. So yeah, I think people have responded by now. Let's go ahead.
All right. So the point that I'm trying to make here, guys, is just 5 minutes. 5 minutes out of your time and reading with concentration results in learning of five new words that, or five or six or seven new words that you have never heard before of. Now, I want you, and after this session, I want you to go and search their meaning, how they are used, and I want you to actually use them whenever you are speaking to someone, you're writing an essay, you're doing a talk, or wherever it can be used. So that's the power of newspaper. Okay, Brunda says ironic. That's good, Brunda. So that's the power of a newspaper. Even 5 minutes of reading a simple paragraph or a simple article can result in something really incredible. You don't have to go to the dictionary, you don't have to go anywhere else. And the best part is, suppose if your article is specifically about something. For example, what Nancy ma'am was reading, it was about online retail. So she will learn all those five words which are specifically about online retail. So when she is talking about that particular topic to someone, she already has a set of words, set of really good words that she can use. And why did I ask you to go to the Hindu website? Because the Hindu is a gem of a newspaper. I have been trying to get its subscription. So if you are reading Times of India, that is obviously very good. But Hindu is like one step ahead. If you are already proficient up to a certain level with English language, I would recommend you to start reading that newspaper. It's really good. Moving further, thank you so much for partaking in the activity. It was really fun. We learned a lot, many words. We also learned their meanings. So after this session, go and find their meanings. I'm sure it will help you. Without further ado, let's move ahead. Podcasts. After newspaper, so newspaper was a reading practice, but podcasts are a really good listening practice. Now, why podcasts or radio programs and not other things? Because podcasts have a lot of information to convey. So if you are like, you can go to several applications on the Play Store that have various podcast channels. You can subscribe to them there. If you are on Spotify, there are various podcasts about various topics on Spotify. So every morning, every evening, whenever you are free, you can listen, and the episodes are very small. So you have long podcasts as well, you have small podcasts as well. So I would recommend you reading the ones that are, having episodes which are maximum 10 minutes long, because that saves your time, and there is also a consistent learning. So listen to podcasts. They're really good way to learn through listening. Documentaries. Now, if you are a documentary freak like me, there are many documentaries to watch, but I would not recommend you watching documentaries which are about celebrities or which are about certain people or certain serial killers, because first, they are really dark to watch sometimes, and second, the language might be very informal. So if you're learning through documentaries, go to Nat Geo, go to Discovery Channel, where they talk about wildlife, where they talk about industries, where they talk about various countries of the world and their cultures. They talk about the stories of people, and the narrator is saying something. Go less of interview documentaries and go more of narration documentaries, wherein the narrator is saying something and there is something being displayed. So you obviously enjoy the visual effects, but you also keep on listening, because the language that they use is highly posh. It is very clean. They use good vocabulary, and that's really, if I'll be honest with you, National Geographic is a place where I have learned a lot of good words. So you can watch wildlife documentaries. They have documentaries of 1 hour, 1 hour long. So you can watch one each day if you wish to learn from that. They are a really good resource of learning English. Infographics. Now, I'm not sure if all of you know what an infographic is. An infographic is like an image sort of a thing where you have certain written content, certain written information, and certain pictures or graphics to help beautify it. So, infographics, there are millions of infographics on the internet. So, if you go to Pinterest or if you go to Google and you search for English infographics, you will find a lot of good information all at one place. And infographics help you to learn one thing at a time. So if you might have seen at Speaker Circle, we keep on sharing Friday fundas. Those are infographics. So go on searching infographics about English language specifically. You will find grammar tips. Like they must have shared something, some one tip related to grammar, and they might have put some examples. Then you have idioms and phrases. There are many infographics on Pinterest, especially regarding this. You can go and have a look at those. There are words. So you have words, their meanings, how can they be used, what are the other forms. So you can learn, you can expand your vocabulary from there itself. And if you, there are certain channels or certain blog pages, if you subscribe to them, they keep on posting one infographic every day. So you don't have to go to the dictionary to look for words. You will be, since you're already subscribed, you will be getting notified of all the updates that they keep on posting. So that's a good way to learn. You also learn about expressions, word expressions, phrases, and figures of speech, how to use them while you're speaking. Audiobooks. Now, I have some friends in college who use this feature, and I have seen the drastic change in the way that they speak before they were listening to audiobooks and after they started listening to it. So what are audiobooks? If you go to Kindle, Amazon Kindle, if you go to there are other websites as well. So you have books, you have the copies of the books, and then you listen to the audio, which is the exact same thing being read. There are many benefits to that. You learn how to pronounce that. You learn how to enunciate, where to take pauses, how to take pauses while you're speaking, how to stress on certain words, how to be expressive while speaking. So audiobooks are a really good way. So while you're reading, there are two things are happening at the same time. You're also reading and you're also listening to English language skills enhancement methods. So audiobooks are really good. Worksheets. Just go to Google and write, grammar worksheets or basic English, spoken English worksheets, and go to the images column. You will have tons of printable worksheets. So if you can get them printed, you can even solve them, and you can even solve it online. There are various websites that take these worksheet tests for English. That's a really good way to test yourself. Worksheets are a really good way of practice. I have used them innumerable times in my school and even now. Think in English. Okay, this is something good. So I will give this credit to Madame Anushri, my French teacher. When I was having struggle with writing sentences in French, she told me that don't think in English and translate in French. Think in French. So that, that helps, that breaks the barrier of translation, that breaks the barrier of cultural influences. So suppose if you are first writing in Hindi, and then if you're thinking in Hindi and then you are translating into English, there might be a huge possibility that you end up making innumerable errors. So start thinking in English, even if it's broken English, even if it doesn't make sense at first. Start thinking in English when you want to express in English. Okay, I am sure you can do that. Mock talk. Now, this is a crazy thing that I used to do a lot. This is something I invented. So mock talk is really fun. You have 3 steps. First is you think yourself in a situation. Second, you pick up a character. And third, you start speaking from the character's perspective. So I used to do this a lot in childhood, and it was complete gibberish, complete babble at first because I did not know English properly. It was all broken words here and there, but I tried, and that thing has helped me a lot. So you can like sit in a corner of the house and ask your people, ask your family members not to make fun of you. You can even include them in the mock talk. So I'll give you a really good example. I once did a mock talk with myself. I imagined that I was in a courtroom and I was a lawyer and I was supposed to defend someone who has been accused of a crime. So I was defending, I was just doing this silly actions in my corner that, milord, this is not done. I shall prove that my client is innocent. And I threw in certain legal jargons, but that helped me. Why? Because in college, when I was asked to speak for a topic, I knew how to defend my perspectives. So mock talks are not silly. They'll not go in. You can, that is up to your imagination. I imagined a courtroom. You can imagine that you are giving a presentation at office. I did a mock talk before doing this, conducting this session. I was in my room or practicing all day that, I am talking to you all and how would I speak, what words would I use, how would I take the flow. So a mock talk always helps. Firstly, because it helps you prepare. Secondly, if you are imagining every possible situation, and in real life if your situation is even similar to that, you can be comfortable in it, and it helps you develop natural speaking skills. You don't need to prepare much if you do enough mock talk. So start doing mock talk. It's not, please don't let anyone make fun of you because they are missing out if they are not using this technique. It has been really, really helpful. And when I say do mock talk, when I say watch documentaries, when I say listen to podcast, do it in things of your interest. Do things, listen to all of that into things that you are interested in. Suppose if you are into literature, listen to podcasts that talk about literature. Listen to documentaries about literature. Do mock talks where you are explaining a piece of literature. If you are interested into science and technology or astronomy, go on Nat Geo and start watching a documentary about that. Why? Because you will never get bored of learning. If all of that content is of your interest, you are genuinely heart and soul interested into it, you would not get bored, and your consistency will be maintained, because consistency is a really, really important thing when it comes to learning. So go ahead and do things that are of your interest, because one day or the other you might start to get bored. So this helps you get away from boredom. Things not to do. Take a pen and paper. This is really important. So we all talked about things what to do, ye karo, wo karo, but now what things not to do. So beginning with is literal translation. Now I have seen so many people, so many people do this, and when they do that it sounds so pathetic. I don't even know how to tell them. So I'll just give an example. In Hindi you say मैं कल आऊंगा. मैं कल आऊंगा. First is the subject, kal is the time, and the verb is towards the end. If I literal translate it, it will be tomorrow I will come. Tomorrow I will come. Whereas it should be I will come tomorrow. Because in English, the verb comes before, mostly the verb comes before and the adverb follows it. But that's not the case with Hindi. In Hindi, the verb always stays at the end. So when you do, now each language has its own grammar structure, its own patterns. So whenever you do literal translation, things will definitely go wrong. Do not literally translate. It's not possible. It's senseless. Google Translate. Please say bye-bye to Mr. Google Translate if you want to learn a language. In my French class, there was a rule that if you use Google Translate, you are a sinner. You are committing a sin. So most people do that, just to sound very, I don't know, fancy or something. They will use certain high words and they will try to literal translate from Google. But what happens is Google Translate is not always accurate. I have faced this error. It's not always accurate. You might get this grammar structure wrong. You might get the word meaning wrong. So Google Translate, it's a machine. It's not a person. So I mean, no matter how perfect it may seem, but sometimes Google Translate does not work. But I obviously respect it because it's a really good feature when you have to translate some language you don't know. But when it comes to English, don't use that. One more thing, at Speakers Circle, whenever there's a Wednesday word shared, I have seen most people just going to Google, getting a sentence of that word, and copy pasting it into the group. Where's your learning in that? You must have used great words, you must have used good vocabulary, but is that sentence coming from your brain? No. Bother your brain. Do not use Google for that. Even if your sentence is very silly, very simple, even if it has errors, use and make your own sentences. Do not rely on Google, because when in real life you stand up to talk to people, you will not have Google by your side. It will be your brain that will be doing all the procedures of vocabulary, of sentence structure, of grammar, and you need to instill all of that in there. So you cannot rely on Google. That's not learning. So whenever you're learning a word, see where it is, how it can be used, what's the meaning, where should I put it. Then you start doing your own work. That's how you learn a language. Please do not use Google. That's a big no. Moving further, learn from certain movies and shows. Now, I know I asked you to watch a lot of animated movies, which is good, but when it comes to movies that are non-animated, normal movies, not all of them are a good learning resource. Especially the shows from Netflix, especially the movies that are recently being uploaded, they have a lot of slang words. So if you just learn from, you should know where to learn from and where to not. Not all movies are clean. Not all movies have good words. So you should avoid movies that have a lot of slang when you're learning. If you already know the language, if you're really good at English, you can go ahead and watch anything you want. Who am I to say? But if you are a learner, that's a big minus point, because you will end up knowing only certain slang words and certain cuss words, which is really bad when it comes to learning English. Do not mix them. American English and British English are even way different. And we Indians are such experts, we have created another segment which is not officially declared, but it's Indian English. We have our own methods of pronunciation, we have our own jargons and terminologies. But American English and British English is way different. So do not do something that you start with American and then you move towards British, because you will get confused. And the thing that you will be confused with the most is pronunciation, because in American, for example, you have car. In British, you have car. Americans say British, and British people say British. See? So you will get confused in both of them. So choose one. If you're going with British, learn from sources or listen to podcasts that have British English in them. If you're switching to American, start reading stuff which is more in American English, that uses more of American phrases and words. Do not mix them. Here are certain endnotes. I'm sorry I'm taking much of your time, but these are certain really important things that I have personally learned from and I wanted to share. Keep it clean. It might seem cool on Netflix, but using cuss words does not work in real life. I mean, it's okay, it's understandable if you get frustrated or if you're angry, but when it comes to formal speaking, when it comes to speaking in general, keep your language clean and simple. No need to use hi-fi fancy words as well. Keep it simple, because that way you will avoid a lot of mistakes. I had a few friends in college who were so used to cussing that whenever there was a class discussion, they had to be very careful while speaking in front of the professor. A word would pop out, or they would say something out of confusion or something, and then they would regret it. So keep it clean. Do not let cuss words sit very strong in your vocabulary. It may seem cool, but at the end of the day, it's not. I'm sorry, that's just how the way it is. Differentiate between formal and informal. Now, if I would have come today saying, "Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girls," and half of you would be out. Okay, this girl doesn't know anything. See, because this is a formal setting, I'm supposed to use formal language. So you should know which form of language to use. If you're talking with your friends, that's fine. You can use whatever phrases or words you want to. But when you are speaking with your boss or your employee or your fellow co-worker or someone who is senior to you in age and in qualifications, you have to keep it formal. And when it comes to learning, I would say that learn formal only. Just stay with formal languages, because when emotions come out, you might go informal as per the situation, but mostly stick with formal languages because it is really good and it saves you from a lot of hassle. And when you are giving a talk like this, like how I'm having a word with you right now, if you are conducting a session, giving a talk, talking to your senior, use formal language because it shows that you are serious about this. You have worked upon this. You have some sense of respect for the people who are in front of you, and that's when formal language comes into being. So when you're learning English, I would say that please, during learning, stay away from all kind of slang words, slang terms, cuss words. Use formal language, use good language, and that's how you should learn. Anyone can do it. Okay, just because I am not rich, because English is supposed to be the language of the posh people, I'm not rich, or I didn't go to an English medium school, but I got a good job, so I don't want to learn English because I don't feel worth it. It's a mere language. Anyone can do it, no matter your age, caste, or gender, ethnicity. That all is really gone when you wish to learn a language. Languages do not belong to anyone. You can learn it and you can do it too. Don't feel that you, just because you don't have the exposure, you will not be able to do it. Get the exposure. It helps you stand out. Learning English helps you stand out, especially in India, because most private firms, so we have government sector and we have private sector. So private sector jobs or private sector organizations or settings usually use English as their main language, because India has two official languages and most of the corporate world uses English in India. So it helps you stand out in your interview. If you have good grammatical, if you have a good command over your grammar, if you have good speaking skills, if your pronunciation is clear and perfect, you might get like a really good response and you might create a really good impression in an interview. While you're talking to people, if you're giving a formal presentation or while doing public speaking, which speaker circle is all about, language matters. You have to be clear. You have to be good if you want people to understand you and if you want people to connect to you. If I was speaking in some gibberish today, how many of you would have actually understood what I'm saying? It helps you stand out from the crowd. Language is not equal to class. Now, when I say that learn English, it's not because you need to seem cool, because English is slowly becoming a very important part of our system. And since India is also having a lot of global connections, English has been with us since day one, since independence. But it does not mean that if you know English and if someone next to you does not, that makes you superior to them. Or if your English skills are weak, it makes you inferior to them. Do not feel that, please. Just learn it because it's a language. Just learn it because it's a language that has a lot of exposure, a lot of information, a lot of things to learn from. Because no other language is as widespread as English. Learn because of that. Do not learn because you want to sound posh or cool. That's not why you learn languages. Okay, so give it a try. It's not that hard, and I hope that these techniques of like animated movies and the mock talk will really help you, because it has helped me. It may seem silly, but crazy is the way you get success. It's not that you need to go to some specific classes or you need to just learn certain you need to learn through certain tricks or techniques. You can have your own techniques of learning. You are a genius in certain field too. So that's that. And thank you so much. I really hope this was helpful to you. I'm open to all sorts of feedback. If you feel that I can improve on some things, I know I'm not that much of an expert in English. I'm learning myself. But I thought that if I have a good proficiency over it, I could help people. So hope this was helpful to you. Thank you. Do you have any questions or anything you'd like to share?
Thank you so much, Zena. Wonderful session that you have conducted today. Guys, let's give her a big round of applause for conducting such a nice session. I know you are like it is more than an hour we have been live, and we have still many people who are with us right now. So kudos to the audience as well who have been there throughout the session. Yes, there were a few technical glitches here and there, but somehow we could manage it and we could perform really well. So thanks everybody for being here. Yes. So we have few comments here. Oh, you just nailed it. It was awesome. Thank you. Zena, you, I think, are mute. You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I just said thank you. Thank you
Very
so
good
much.
and interacting session.
Thank you so much, Sapna.
Guys, we are open for questions, okay? You can type anything. We will be here for next few minutes if you want to have any questions, or if you want to ask something directly to Zena, you can type it here and would surely try to cover them suitably.
Thank you, Somnath. Great, Vrinda. I'm happy.
So, Zena, as you said that these are the all tips that you have given, being watching movies or listening to podcasts or writing or reading or even learning vocabulary, and there were many things. Now, so honestly, I know that I need to work upon few things. I know how to do it. How can one plan a schedule or put it in a practice? Because knowledge is different. Okay, I'm aware that I need to do this, but then how to not to do it without fail, like without fail, how we can execute it?
Okay, so firstly, that's a really good question, as in how you can keep consistency. So, as I said, newspapers are something that we all read on a daily basis. So, you have to inculcate, I'm not saying that you have to inculcate all of these methods at once. You have to learn all of the English language at once. You can take one thing at a time. You can start with the very basics. Firstly, 1 week, I'll just practice vowel sounds and consonant sounds, which means that I will go to YouTube, I will search for various pronunciation videos, I'll just listen to them, and I'll sit in my room and I'll practice vowels and consonants, and I'll gain perfection over them for 1 or 2 weeks or as long as I want to. Moving forward, I will start with the very basic tenses of grammar. Then it keeps on advancing, and that depends on you how far you want to learn it. Some of us don't want to learn grammar, just spoken English. So as I said, make it a point to watch a documentary or listen to a podcast or speak something in English. English has to be somewhere in your routine. So I guess that's how you can go on a daily basis.
So identifying at least 35 to minutes to 1 hour of your everyday time and dedicating that time for any activity that we find suitable, because probably we all are aware of many things like that. There are so many YouTube channels, there are so many apps, and we can do a lot, but then discipline is something which is very crucial in consistent improvement. Okay, we have one question. Yeah.
How to overcome this? Okay, so I would say that that's when you switch to speaker circle, because see, I understand that when we are talking to 1 or 2 people, we are very confident of that, we won't make any errors. But when we have people from various backgrounds who might be even better than us in English, so we might feel that they might judge us, we might make an error. So I guess that comes with practice. And initially, you don't have to care about what other people think of you, even if you're not good at it, because the nervousness will help you, help you ensure that the next time when you go in public, you prepare yourself, you do some bit of a practice, and you know what you're speaking, and you also use simple language. Use simple language. That's the key thing.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. I think we have no more questions as of now, but I must congratulate you for conducting a beautiful session. I'm sure it will be helpful to many people who have watched it. And yes, guys, if you find it helpful, you can share the link of this video with your friends or family members. It might help them too. So, yeah. Thank you so much. I
Thank
thank
you.
Zaina Rafique for being here with us today.
Thank you so much.
So that was Zaina Rafique from Speaker Circle. She's a member of Speaker Circle and, of course, a key person in executing many things. And today she gave a talk about almost an hour about how we can learn our English language on our own. Note that we go live on this particular YouTube channel every Thursday evening, 6 p.m. For an hour's time, there we do different activities. Consider subscribing if you want to learn, if you want to improve upon yourself, or also want to share your knowledge with others. At the same time, if you want to be part of our visitors WhatsApp group, you can fill up a Google form. You'll find the link of the form in the description, or follow us on all the different social media handles. All the links are given below here in the description. And yes, we'll be happy to see you there. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a quite long session, but worth attending, and we are happy that you stayed till the end. I am sure it would be helpful to you, and we are open for suggestions and feedbacks as well. If you have anything to share or suggest, let us know. We are also learning. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Okay, we have one more comment. Informative, fascinating, and insightful session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for commenting. Do share it with your friends and family, and let's learn and grow together gradually. Thank you so much, everybody. This is Nancy Shah signing off from Speaker Circle. Bye bye.